Hey guys, this is Dr. Cadwell and I'm here with Mary Ann. And Mary Ann, like so many others, has of course another inspirational story that she has been extremely generous to come and share her time with me and with you to get it out there. And it really is truly an incredible story of success and ultimately perseverance, because what you're going to hear from Mary Ann is that, like many of you, she had done a lot prior to coming to our office, and ultimately got the result that she was trying to achieve with everything else that she had done. So it's just really a neat thing. She brought some numbers too, because she's had some blood work done along the way that she's going to share with you as well. So Mary Ann, I just want to say thank you. Appreciate you coming and sharing so that other people can be inspired like I've been inspired. So my first question, it's the question I really ask everybody, is what ultimately got you to come through the doors to check out what we were doing?
Well, I am in my 60s and I've been dieting since age 14.
Okay, we've referred that as a professional dieter, so you were a professional dieter.
Yes.
Okay.
And after I got to 50, a lot of weight came on. I'm not sure why, and then I developed type 2 diabetes. And I tried all kinds of things to get rid of it, and nothing would work. And finally, I got rid of quite a bit of the weight using HCG.
Mm-hmm.
I used homeopathic HCG approach, but the weight wouldn't stay off. And I've never had a program that kept weight off with good maintenance for very long, and I've seen a lot of dieters as well, and that's the problem with dieting. So I was having to do this almost every 3 months, and it was really...
You were going into an HCG type plan?
Yes, which is 500 calories a day, which isn't an easy plan to do, but it would keep weight off, or it would get rid of some of the weight, so I didn't regain all of the weight. So it helped, but it was getting tiresome. And then
because it was every 3 months.
Because, yes, I'd have to. Nothing would work to keep it. It would come back fast.
Okay.
So and then I had a daughter who had 2 children, and she was struggling to lose weight. And then I heard about your program on the radio and decided to try it because your program offered to help with metabolism. Mm-hmm. And I'd done enough reading to understand that when you diet, your body's metabolism changes, so it does more, it can do more with less food, and mm-hmm. so it just, so even if you try to go back to anything like normal eating, you'll regain.
Get yourself in trouble, yeah.
And so and my daughter was struggling as well, so I said, why don't we try this? And you suggested we try it together, which was a really good idea. So we did. So she had tried several programs as well, and she had been pre-diabetic during her pregnancy. She'd had to be on insulin during her pregnancy, and I had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes for over 10 years. Mm-hmm. And we both lost weight, so she lost almost 30 pounds and I lost about 25.
Wow.
Which was great.
Yeah.
But beyond that, my blood sugar normalized within a week of my starting this program, which was totally amazing. And I appreciated the support. We both did. The checking in daily and the coming in weekly. And because you work directly with people who have diabetes, I was texting you daily, and you explained that if I kept taking insulin when my blood sugar was as low as it was, it could actually be dangerous. So I decided to stop taking insulin, mm-hmm. and my blood sugar was really normal during the 40 days of that kind of eating. And then I had lab tests done at Kaiser, and my doctor, I said, my blood sugar is improved, and she said, something must be wrong with your meter. Blood sugar doesn't improve like that.
That's interesting. I want to come back to that.
So I took my meter in to be checked, and nothing was wrong with my meter. So
why did she think something was wrong with your meter?
Because they don't see improvements in blood sugar
right.
very often.
Okay, so
I was told that by both an endocrinologist and my GP.
Which explains why so many people are frustrated as type 2 diabetics, is because when you just manage the symptom, you don't ever see resolution.
No, and it actually worsens in time no matter what you're doing,
Huh.
which had happened to me.
Okay.
And when I did the HCG dieting, my blood sugar would improve. When you eat only 500 calories
Yeah.
a day, it helps your blood sugar, but you can't live like that for very long.
Well, the other thing
And-
too, which I want to bring up, is that you guys have to realize that HCG is an exogenous, I don't care if it's homeopathic or whatnot, it's an exogenous hormone. It is a pregnancy hormone, and yeah, it's a fat-burning hormone, so it certainly can create weight loss. The problem is that the same thing that happened to you happens to, really most everybody that I've ever talked to that's done it, is they stop taking the HCG, they go back to what they were doing, and the weight comes back up, because that HCG, taking an exogenous hormone can be, very dangerous. I'm not prescribing or taking people off of hormones. This just comes from educating yourself and doing research. And, you were going on this thing every 3 to 4 months because the weight was coming back. So you were basically getting on this exogenous hormone, which can over time start to create some other hormonal imbalances. And that becomes the struggle that a lot of people have. Now, in terms of the blood sugar reduction while you're on that, it makes sense that your sugars will go down on that. But I think I remember you calling, correct me if I'm wrong, but your sugars were not getting below 200 even with HCG, were they? Or were they?
Just barely.
Just barely.
just
So you were in the
barely.
upper one, like
Yes.
180, 190?
And even with insulin, taking insulin.
You were taking insulin too, okay.
They were in the mid 200s.
Wow.
They actually went into the 300s at one point. I was off insulin for a while. I was just taking metformin, but that upset my stomach so much I finally stopped that. But I just couldn't get it. My blood sugars controlled to anything near normal.
Yeah.
And then I do these, they would do this lipid panel every so often because Kaiser monitors that. And and then I have a sister who's a Kaiser administrator who is actually, I have a master's degree. I mean,
Yeah, you're a
it
smart
was
person.
a med tech lab supervisor, and she was really upset that I had stopped my insulin. And I said, well, I monitor 4 times a day. I'm being careful, but I'll pay close attention to all of my lab tests. And when I took the lab tests, everything had improved dramatically. My cholesterol had dropped to below 200. My triglycerides, I was saying, were 3 to 600s, and they dropped below 200. Everything was normalized.
Right.
So the doctor was still in shock and wondering if it was true, and said she'd redo it in 3 months. So she did redo it in 3 months, and it was even better. So
Love it.
I have felt, and since then too, I've normalized my eating. So and I've really been happy. I even got through the holidays here, and my weight has stabilized, and my blood sugar is the best it's ever been. I had to start taking insulin, a little bit of insulin again.
Yeah.
I was on, I think, 40 cc's, and now I'm on a day, and now I'm on 15 cc's. And I was in the 250s, taking 40 and sometimes more.
Wow.
And now I'm in the 140s.
Right.
So almost
Substantially
normal.
reduced your dosage.
Yes.
Which is a big deal, and I always tell people, if you can, when you're in a situation like you were, where you were doing the HCG stuff every few months because it wasn't, working for you in terms of, sustained weight loss, and you were using that for weight, and you were using it to try to help your blood sugars and all that sort of stuff, it really does start to contribute to a lot of imbalances and a lot of sensitivity issues in the body, specifically insulin and insulin resistance and something called leptin resistance and other things as well. But what you're experiencing is a body that's beginning to sort of break through those resistances.
It's wonderful. Here I am in my 60s, and all of my lab tests are better than they were 10 years ago.
Wow.
And by your tests, my metabolism has improved so much that it used to be that of an 80-year-old, and now it's that of a 60-year-old.
Yeah, cool.
So something is working with this program that has, I've never seen work before, and I've worked with weight issues all of my life.
Yeah.
So,
Well, how long ago was it that you finished in the weight loss phase of what we do?
mid-October.
So mid-October, and this is a mid-October of 2016. We're now at the end of January 2017.
Right.
So basically, 4 months, and you're still
the
good
holidays.
to go. Yeah, through the holidays. So which sometimes, but that's another thing. Did you find that you weren't as interested in some of the holiday food, if you will?
No,
That,
I was still interested in the
oh, you were
holiday
interested in it? Okay.
But and I did eat some of it, but I was careful.
Yeah.
I've been very careful with my eating. I've been working on my eating for many years.
Yeah.
But even when I was careful before, weight would come back on.
Okay.
So if I ate something on a day that I shouldn't, I probably did a very restricted diet,
Right, okay.
Meal plan the next day and it worked.
And you're eating a good, healthy amount of calories
Yeah,
now, right? So
about 15 to 1,700 from me.
that's great.
My daughter is able to eat 1,900 to 2,000.
Yeah.
She's younger, so it's fine.
And you're staying conscious of where those calories are coming from, right? And it
I
becomes sort of
write
automatic.
down what I eat.
You write down, okay.
I'm making that much of an effort
Yeah.
because it's made such a difference.
Right, right. Well, when you're dealing with the health challenges that you've had, obviously with the blood sugar stuff, obviously you're sort of used to tracking that stuff. So,
Yes.
but I mean, so the point is is that you ate real food during the weight loss phase of the program, and you've obviously continued to eat real food, and you've
Yes.
brought additional things in and tested those things, because part of what we want to do is as you get to that stable weight point that you want to be, is to introduce foods and identify triggers.
Yes.
And so did you identify any triggers?
I think more triggers for blood sugar. Like I think
Oh,
I
okay.
told you I had a superfood salad one day, which doesn't have very many calories, but the cranberries trigger.
It's got dried fruit, right?
um,
Which is going to have a higher
blood
glycemic load.
sugar
Yep.
spike. So, in terms of weight gain, I just know if I, eat a lot of starch and sugar, I'll
Right.
gain weight. But I've been avoiding that for years. That's what I'm saying. But even so, my weight
Didn't stabilize. Right.
So it is now.
Well, it's funny because a lot of people say that, and I always say that this little phone that I have here, I have this. It's really crazy because I can point it at you. I can take a picture of you, and then I can put that picture into a text message and text it to a friend of mine in Iowa or Illinois or Ohio or whatever, and they'll get it. And I have no idea how the heck that picture gets there, but it gets there, right? It works. And a lot of people go, what is going on? Why is this working for me? And really the short answer, without making it complicated, is that we're able to provide your body, based on the testing that we do and what we look at, the things that it's really telling us that it wants. And we're then able to support it through appropriate minerals and nutrients that the body needs. In other words, the fuels to start to help its improvement and function. It's kind of like, the car you drove over here in today, right? I always tell people, if you poured Coca-Cola down the gas tank or milk down the gas tank or even water down the gas tank, that it probably isn't going to run very well, right? And so a lot of people that have got your history in terms of being professional dieters have done a lot of the low carb, low fat, 0 calorie, no calorie, all this stuff that unfortunately doesn't have any nutrient value to the body and perpetuates the problem. In other words, makes it worse over time. So what you're experiencing is now this body, because you and I live in a body that can heal, right? Have you ever cut yourself?
It's amazing to know that at this age, that
Yeah.
it can heal this much, no matter
hey,
what your age.
You're breathing in oxygen, you're expelling carbon dioxide. I tell people, as long as you're walking upright or you're still bringing in oxygen and kicking out CO2, then your body has an ability to heal. Now, can it be a little bit slower based upon where we're at in terms of this number we call age? Yeah, I mean, definitely. But I've seen people like you overcome health challenges that they've had for decades because they're now doing things to support their bodies in the right way. And you know what the really neat thing is? The byproduct of a better functioning body oftentimes becomes, guess what?
A better functioning
Weight loss.
mind. by
Weight loss, right? So your weight is staying off and you're stabilizing because your body is now operating the way it's designed to operate, okay?
Yeah.
Is it all the way there? No. But why you've had such a reduction in your need for insulin in terms of the amount of units is because now you have a body that's overcoming this insulin resistance issue and it's overcoming this leptin resistance issue. The liver is beginning to work better, so you're breaking through liver congestion. And the liver is the organ that's most responsible for sugar regulation in the body. Insulin is just kicked out by the pancreas when there's this spike in blood sugars, but insulin shouldn't be spit out continuously. People that have blood sugar issues, they develop insulin sensitivity because the pancreas is so stressed and it's constantly pushing it into the bloodstream. And when you're injecting it daily as well, it also starts to decrease the sensitivity of those insulin receptors, which becomes sort of this cascade of events that starts to lead to the frustrations that a lot of people have. So let me follow that up by saying this. We're not treating diabetes, we're not treating heart disease, we're not treating liver disease, we're not treating any medical condition. We're just trying to take a person like Mary Ann and you out there and help you to understand that you ultimately can take back control of this asset, which is your health. And if you do that, function's going to improve like it has with you. You're going to lose weight and you're going to be able to keep it off just like you've been able to do. And not only that, you're going to see as you continue to go in for your blood work that it probably continues to improve. And also, as you come in and get your body composition analysis here periodically, what you'll also probably see is you'll probably see that metabolic age continue to drop because your body's going to continue to hydrate on a cellular level, which is one very key component to ultimately metabolic function, okay? So that was a lot, but that's sort of the most simple explanation for why you're seeing the result that you're seeing. You're eating real food. Any supplementation you're getting from us is from ultimately a live source. So it's live source whole food. It doesn't have stuff that can interfere with hormones or create cell energy problems or any of that stuff. It's feeding your body what it needs, and so now the body is reacting to that.
I keep saying I've been careful about my eating for years. That I learned that I had to minimize eating starch and sugar. And my blood sugar would improve, but it never improved this much. So I think there must be something about your supplements that is also making a difference, because good eating without the supplements wasn't doing it completely. So there's something about this program that's different than anything else.
Well, yeah, and you're right. I mean, we're not trying to repeat what a lot of people are failing at out there or what they're struggling with, and so some of what we do is absolutely counterintuitive to people. There's no question. In terms of the supplementation, when you look at supplementation and what we're doing is we're combining really what I call energy medicine with physical medicine. And so the supplementation is a part of matching healthy cell resonance or cell energy, right? So if we want to support the liver, not only do we want to get nutrients that are supportive to the physical function of the liver, but we want to provide it with supplementation that contains a matching cell resonance of healthy liver tissue, right? So that's what ultimately drives the supplement to the organ to be supported. So this is something that's a little, sometimes people, but I'll tell you, energy medicine's the future, and that's a lot of, the success that you and others are having is that we're addressing the physical challenge along with the energy challenge. Because you and I are energetic beings, there's an energy that's giving life to this matter that we occupy, and as we start to remove the interferences to that energetic flow, bam, all of a sudden good things happen, right? So, and Mary Ann, you have been an inspiration to me, and I know that these people out there listening to you right now are inspired by you. So what would you say to them to finish this up?
Well, I just say that there's hope. That's why I'm doing this, because I've been sharing this because it's an amazing thing to say. I'm almost completely, my blood sugar is almost completely normal, besides the fact that I've lost weight, and people compliment me for that, and that's really great. But my blood sugar is almost normal, and I don't have the aches and pains that I had.
Right.
I notice if I eat sugar, then I'll get little twinges. My knee will bother me, or my back will bother me, and that's pretty much it.
Very pro-inflammatory. That's why you want to stay away from it. So
yeah. There is hope. There's a program that.
Thank you.
Do something others
So,
can't.
yeah, so thank you so much, and, you know, hopefully, once again, you've been inspired by this story. It is absolutely amazing. I want to finalize that thought on the sugar is, yeah, stay away from it because it's very inflammatory, and the majority of health issues, and this comes from the CDC actually, 7 of the top 10 killers in this country, disease killers, are specifically related to chronic low-grade inflammation in the body, and one of the biggest contributors to inflammation in the body is sugar. So, you know, you want to really be conscientious of what you're eating because there's sugar in just about everything. So, have a great day, everybody. Thank you, Marianne. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you.